Hello Pisces, welcome to your reading for 14th through to the 21st of March 2026, and it's going to be general, so please take what resonates and leave the rest for someone else. And yeah, let's welcome in the Archangels, Ascendant Masters, light beings, spirit guides, our higher selves, and any animal, ancestral or dragon guides you may feel resonant with at the moment as well. Yeah, here we go Pisces, let's check it out. Wow, okay. Right, they're all flying. Hang on a moment. Sorry, bear with me. I'll just see if I... No, we're all good. Right, you've got the Five of Pentacles, and we've got the Tower here, and the Nine of Cups. And let's see, we need one more. Ten of Wands. Okay. So this is something that possibly happened recently, Pisces, maybe in the last few weeks, the last couple of months or something. Five of Pentacles and the Tower. So, we can read this a couple of ways, okay? Perhaps you have been out in the cold financially, or maybe you have sort of been a bit ill, maybe you've been sick. You know, maybe you've had an injury or something to the physical body. Maybe there's sort of, you've needed some help with that. Or, yeah. And, you know, maybe during that time, you've sort of received an insight. Okay. Because sometimes when we have downtime, you know, sometimes it's the body's way of saying, if we're sick, sorry, was what I meant to say. If we get sick, or sometimes even when we're injured, it can be like the universe's way of saying, you know, and take this if it resonates. If it doesn't apply and it doesn't sit with you, then just let it go, okay? But sometimes it's the universe's way of saying, you know, you need to slow down, take a look at things, and, you know, maybe you need to make changes, you know, if that resonates. So this, you know, this maybe could be what's happened, you know, maybe you've got an insight. Or the other thing here is that maybe something's happened on the work front, and you have, you know, maybe you've now taken a pay cut, Five of Pentacles, you know, but it could be like an insight that's, excuse me, that you have sort of gone, well, okay, I need to change jobs, I need to tweak what I'm doing, and maybe you've taken a dip in income for whatever reason. Let's see, and it could be a good reason, right? Okay, right, Spirit. So we've got the Ace of Pentacles here. We've got the Seven as well. The Six of Cups, which did jump out in the pre-shuffle. I'm pretty sure I saw that mermaid jump out earlier. We're going to grab one more for you, Pisces. And here it is. It has flipped, and it is the Knave of Pentacles, which is the Page of Pentacles. So let's see. These two cards are kind of what you're doing at the moment. So what we were just talking about before was something that might have happened fairly recently. At the moment, you're feeling into a new opportunity, and there's this thing of, you know, you're looking at, is it worth it? So this could be something that's presented to you. Maybe it is a job, you know, or maybe it's a new thing that you're wanting to move into, a new project, or maybe a new health and well-being regime. And maybe you're wondering, you know, can you do it, or is this worth doing? Yeah. So, you know, and that could be linked back to if you've had an insight, like maybe you had to take some downtime, maybe you're working less, or maybe you've had an illness or something, and you are like going, well, yeah, you've had an insight, and maybe you are going, well, I need to change. An underlying theme, Six of Cups and Page of Pentacles, is this new, it's like a childlike energy. So I feel like you might be moving into activating your inner child, Pisces, okay? Six of Cups, something about your past, or there's something you loved to do in the past that maybe it was like a fallback. Maybe you did it to help you through situations, or maybe it was a hobby or something you love to do, something creative, Six of Cups. Something intuitive or spiritual, okay? And you also have the Page of Pentacles, which is to do with that sense of delight and awe, and you're just looking at this new opportunity, or looking at this ace here, and you're sort of this Ace of Pentacles, or this new thing, project or something. Maybe it's a new health and well-being thing, and you're just going, wow, this is just really awesome, and you're kind of really treasuring it. So there's something about, I think, Pisces, an underlying theme is that I think you're going to be tuning into your inner child more, and really sort of, there's something about your inner child that's going to come forward for you, that you're really going to have a sense of, you want to align with it, and you want to really acknowledge it and support it and nurture it, and yeah, which is really lovely. And if this has been hard times and there's been an insight, I mean, maybe this is a good thing. Maybe this insight that you've had recently, even though there may have been difficult times around it when you had the insight, maybe it's come out for the better. Okay. And general direction moving forward is that, yes, emotional fulfillment here, 9 of Cups, Pisces, is what you're generally going to be, future direction. You're moving towards that, and I have a feeling your inner child is going to have a lot to do with it. Okay, so you'd probably be a good idea for you to tune into that part of you a lot. And I think Spirit's also saying here is that this is going to be a spiritual work. There's something about it here that is going to be, this can be a card of burden, but it can also be about a labor of love and really applying yourself to it, like a lot of work. Okay. Not in a bad sense, but in, like, if we've got the 9 of Cups with this, it's like, okay, we're working at something that we really love to do that's going to be good for us, and it could be challenging, but we're going to work through it. Okay. So that could be a general direction for you, Pisces. Another way to read these cards could also be that, if things were a struggle in the past, okay, I think as a result of aligning with your inner child, things are going to feel easier moving forward, and you'll be able to move into, emotional well-being with mastering whatever it is that you're going to do. So whatever resonates for you there, Pisces, of those 2 options. Let's look at some, excuse me, possible outcomes. Also, just need to drop in here that if any other meanings come up for you with the images on these cards, or these combinations of images, please go with your own intuition over mine, because you are the expert in your own life, and probably, your subconscious is going to tell you the things that you need to glean from the images. Okay, I'm just projecting out possibilities. Right, here we have the Knight of Cups. Did something else flip? No, not quite. So that's, about you bringing this vibe of love, care, and almost like falling in love with something. Okay, Pisces? Falling in love with whatever it is that I think that whatever it is that your inner child is attracted to here for you. Okay. And here we have this beautiful Page of Pentacles again. Yeah, falling in love with this thing, which is the underlying theme, which we've already mentioned, okay? This is the Page of Pentacles with your 6 of Cups, the inner child, okay? Now we have Page of Pentacles with, the love. So this is like going to be, possible outcome is you're going to be moving into a love frequency. You're going to be really loving this thing, okay, that you're going to be doing. This is really cool. You've also got the 9 of Cups repeated here in your challenge, which is fascinating. And you have the King of Swords. Okay, let's talk about your area of challenge now. So it's looking here, Pisces, that the thing you may have challenge with is that with this emotional fulfillment, if you go into the air energy, in other words, if you start overthinking things or go into the intellectual realm a lot of the time, okay, I think that's going to make things difficult for you to move into emotional well-being. Now, what do I mean by that? What I mean is that, Pisces, you are a mutable water sign, okay? So, and your consciousness is very mutable, sensitive, intuitive, okay? So you're going to be gleaning a lot of things. You're going to be getting a lot of downloads and a lot of stuff going on. And this, so there's there could be potentially a lot of head stuff that you're going to have to navigate through, okay? And that's what this King of Swords is here. So he's sort of like going, okay, but what we're trying to say is that this energy here could block you from this. We're going to get spirit guidance in a minute. But the King of Swords represents thoughts, beliefs, communications, technology, ideas, analysis. Yeah, so it is possible, this idea of paralysis by analysis, and focusing on the mind and what your mind can sort of create and what it has to deal with energetically, okay, from other energies out there, could sort of divert your attention or distract you, Pisces. That's probably the best word. You could potentially become distracted from this emotional well-being. And the other thing too is that for you to focus on your emotional well-being, this is your general direction moving forward. This is such a great feeling, by the way. It's just like really awesome. That it could be a struggle, literally, for you to focus on this. Okay, but this is actually probably better for you than this energy here, because I feel like it's to do with the intellect. I was going to say intellect versus the emotions, but what you're kind of wanting to do, Pisces, is to bring your intellect into alignment with your emotions. So bringing your thought processes into alignment with what your inner child is wanting for you and wanting you to experience in your life, which is the emotional fulfillment. Okay, this is in the area of your challenge, and I think it's because of that other energy there. Because it's going to feel, it's this thing about you falling in love with this thing, this is the possible, potential, likely outcome, right? Let's get some spirit guidance for you. Spirit guidance for Pisces with this, emotional fulfillment is definitely on the cards here for you. After a time of challenge, but you've had insights and you've been, acting on those insights. Page of Pentacles again. Spirit's saying that, you really need to, strong suggestion for you to really hold space for yourself, to hold this thing, this physical experience, this opportunity, this something or other. And you probably know what that is, Pisces. You now have Page of Pentacles 3 times in your reading. Not twice, but thrice. But it's definitely an inner child thing, hey? And you also have the Page of Swords. So isn't that interesting? We talked before about potentially that sword energy kind of distracting you from your emotional stuff. But here we have the sword energy. Like we said, you want a synthesis. These are both pages. So you want your Page of Swords, the amount of time and energy spent on your intellect. You want to match that with this here, the amount of time and energy spent on this special thing that you are doing. Okay. And maybe these are the one and the same. Okay. But Spirit's sort of saying there could be, 2 different things here, Pisces, that you're doing. But you need to make sure that you are, not ignoring that beautiful inner child energy, because this is the other one here. And also paying attention to your nutrition. Look at this little Knave of Pentacles. So cute. Eating some more fruit. Maybe that's a thing. Right, let's just grab another one here for you. And then we'll look at the bottoms of the decks. But the Page of Swords is about getting curious. It's about, you know, maybe you're learning something new. Maybe you are studying something, okay, that sort of has to do with that Page of Pentacles. Okay, the Five of Swords, and let's grab the one off the bottom here. The Four of Swords. So this is that sword energy, okay, that Spirit's sort of saying this could be you battling with your ego, or your ego trying to convince you to not align with your inner child. Okay, it could be this King of, also aligning, you know, this King of Swords here. These two together, yeah, could certainly distract you from your emotional well-being. Okay, this is like overthinking, but also, I guess, in some ways, being really sensitive and receptive to energies out there that are not conducive to you focusing on your emotional well-being, and not conducive to you being in a state where you can really sort of honor and fall in love with that emotional thing, and that, you know, what your inner child is wanting for you. But Spirit's also just popped in here a nice little remedy for that Five of Swords. When this starts to happen, this is like second guessing yourself. Maybe you put yourself down, Pisces. Maybe you underestimate yourself. Or maybe this is just like your ego trying to convince you to not do what it is that your inner child is really calling you to do, is to really hit it with the Four of Swords. Okay. It's like, okay, if you observe this happening, use your awareness, use your investigative skills here, and almost a little bit of analysis, okay? Use a little bit of analysis to just go, hang on a minute, what's happening here? And then it's like, okay, I'm just going to really still the mind, focus on the breath. And maybe this is like to do with mind-body connection work. Maybe there's something in that. Maybe there's mind-body breath work that you're doing here, Pisces. So that you can, Spirit saying, you know, so that you can sort of dispel this energy, this self-doubt, or this, I always like to think that there are positive aspects to the ego and there are negative aspects, okay? The positive aspects of the ego are that, you know, the positive ego, we want to work with the higher self, with the inner child, to allow the soul to express, okay? The negative aspects of the ego are those aspects of our psyche that want to keep us in like emotional pain, emotional difficulty, in emotional drama, in anything that's going to distract us from our soul, our inner child, okay, our higher self. And that's sort of what this guy is, I think, kind of experiencing here in this picture. But this is kind of nice, because when you start to still the mind, or kind of start to work out, okay, what energies, you know, for you Pisces, what energies are yours and what energies aren't yours that you're picking up on. It might be about going out in nature to kind of get some, or a peaceful place where you can just really focus in. Focus on the breath, come into your center, ground yourself, ground to Gaia, really avail yourself of Gaia's energies, so supportive. And also the collectives, the galactic collectives that are helping us at the moment, you know, Pleiadians, Arcturians, Sirians, Blue Avians as well, and many others, okay, that, you know, if you're tuning into those frequencies, particularly going out in sunlight, is going to help. As well, but just really allowing them to help you to, you know, and also, you know, archangels, ascended masters, any of your spirit guides that you feel resonant with. This is resting the mind, coming into that center of, you know, there is an okay space right in the middle there, okay, right in the middle of all of this other CRAP that's going on, right? Yeah, and I really love this picture too. This is the sword energy, the Page of Swords. But see how she's got, there's this, if these light bulbs represent, you know, all of the other stuff, they could represent light bulb moments, or there might be other ideas. But, you know, it's almost like she knows they're there, and she's sort of kind of hanging on to them. But at the same time, her attention is focused, and she's probably like feeling aligned with stuff. So the thing is, we're not trying to say that we're going to deny that the other stuff is out there. Of course it's there, okay? But the extent to which we attach to it is our choice. And I think this could be a thing for you, Pisces, is, you know, you're a sensitive water sign. You're going to pick up on a whole lot of stuff. So I think in terms of your emotional fulfillment, it's about you, I guess, really creating boundaries. Oh, we've got to look at the bottoms of the decks. Here we go, Two of Swords. It's about going within and really sorting out, you know, first sword, what is your personal truth, your alignment, and your clarity. And the other sword is what is not yours. So what is that stuff out there what are you picking up on that's not yours? Okay. And yeah, here we have also the Knave of Cups, so the Page of Cups, which is really lovely. Also about love, paying attention, focusing on your emotions. Again, Pisces. Okay. Yeah, focusing on your intuition, your emotional well-being. Like, that's going to be a big thing. This is the other possible outcome, you know, love, falling in love with that thing, whatever it is that you're wanting to bring. Whatever it is that your inner child, I think, is calling you towards. Here you have the Nine of Swords. Now, the Nine of Swords has appeared in just about every reading, and I really have to mention now at this point, in every reading, kind of almost this week, the majority of the readings, the Nine of Swords has kept popping out, is that this is kind of to bring to everyone's attention that it is a case of what we've just said, is that sometimes if our brain or our consciousness is spinning out into a whole lot of different areas, it can be that it's not necessarily all our stuff that's causing that. Okay, because we are becoming more, our consciousness is expanding, which means we're going to pick up, we're becoming more telepathic, we're becoming more emotionally and intuitively sensitive. Okay, Spirit's saying for you to be aware of that. And this is why we really need to be, many of us need to be of sorting it in terms of doing that meditation, doing that alignment focus, really important, okay? And here we have it. Perfect. I was wondering if the Seven of Wands was going to come out, and here we have it. This is about the boundaries. It's about saying, look, I'm going to meditate. I'm going to still the mind. Okay, finding a nice peaceful place somewhere, Pisces, to really tune into your inner child, to tune into this new Ace of Pentacles thing, okay? And to look at your emotional fulfillment. Nine of Cups twice, okay? Lots of pages, so learning energy, and tuning into that inner child energy, whatever makes you sort of feel in touch with your innocence, the playfulness, you know, maybe mind-body connection, things that fascinate you, interest you, you know, all that sort of stuff, okay? And this is about having the boundaries to give yourself permission to do that, okay? So here you are, Pisces. This is fantastic. And this is, you know, about you really having those boundaries during these times when if the mind starts to, you know, overwork. It's about applying the boundary, doing the meditation so that you can tune back into this Nine of Cups. What truly is going to help you experience emotional fulfillment, okay? You have that Nine of Cups in your general direction moving forward. Let's just look at this one. This guy is raising his glass here, saying cheers, because this is what you're moving into, Pisces, okay? Emotional fulfillment can come from expressing your creativity, your intuition, your spirituality. It might be an art form of some sort. It might be, you know, certainly any of these page energies here, you know, like the Page of Pentacles. Or that was, yeah, the Page of Pentacles is 3 times. So this is, I have a feeling that this little card here has a lot of clues for you. Okay, all these different pages of Pentacles here. It might be, this looks like a yoga pose, so maybe it's something to do with yoga. Maybe it's something to do with nature. This person's out in nature, okay? This is sort of to do with nutrition, maybe natural healing, looking at, you know, herbs or anything like that. So all of these things, you know, could be potential things that your inner child is into. But there's something you're going to be falling in love with, Pisces, and I'm kind of really thrilled for you because this reading is just really beautiful. Yeah. I better wrap it up there. I'll start getting emotional. yeah, I hope that's been helpful. And I look forward to your next reading. In the meantime, have a great day, a great week. And I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.